Hey YouTube, got the parts for thermostat socket replacement. So pretty much I purchased new thermostat, so me or next owner don't need to go here again, at least for the thermostat replacement, since I'm already going to be there. There is a new thermostat socket, which is, I guess, responsible for the leak of coolant that got all this mess around in the valley as well in the bottom. And that's it pretty much. I probably won't be doing like detailed how to, because there are a bunch of videos on YouTube already for the exact same engine, but in a couple of words, just to summarize, I'm gonna first of all remove 3 bolts holding the pulley for the coolant pump. Then I'm gonna remove the belt just from this pulley. I won't remove it like completely, so I'm gonna loosen it, remove from the pulley, and then I'm gonna remove the pulley itself. The reason for pulley removal, even I won't be replacing the pulley or coolant pump, is it looks to me that it's impossible to get to the bottom 2 bolts that are holding the coolant pump in place. You can get to 3 bolts on the top, but you cannot get to the bottom 2 bolts. So it's going to be easier, or maybe it's required even to remove the pulley. Maybe there is no workaround. Something to be kind of cautious about: the bolts that are holding the front cover, the chain cover, in place are exactly the same size as the bolt size holding the coolant pump. So be sure to undo the proper bolts. Okay, let's check how much coolant we gonna lose. Okay, going down. It's definitely some, but not as crazy as I thought it could be. So the pump looks okay, doesn't have any play. I'm gonna replace the gasket. I already got a new gasket. And the most interesting part is to remove this black socket that holds the kind of thermostat in place, and that actually connects the thermostat housing and the water pump housing. There is kind of space between them, and that's where this plastic socket is leaking, I guess. Folks, I apologize, I am recording this moment again. I got the thermostat removed, but for some reason originally the record didn't, like, crappy GoPro. So despite what other people been doing in regards to the socket, like they been doing like circles of wires, let's say, that holds by those coils, and then they pulled it out. What I came up with, I used this space in between of the thermostat housing and coolant pump housing, and I used very gently the screwdriver, and I pried it from both ends. I pried. Crap. I pried out the thermostat housing, and then I simply remove it with my bare hands. Little by little it was going out. You can see it's moving, and then I was able to grab it pretty much with the bare hands and wiggle it out. Easy as that. I'm not sure if it's gonna work for everyone. Maybe someone else's socket gonna sit, you know, so tight and it's gonna be so cooked, but at least in my case, very gentle, again, very gentle prying with a screwdriver from the back of the thermostat housing. Let's say I was using this side of the thermostat, that's where my screwdriver was prying to. It was sitting like that, and this is the part that is visible from the top. That's it. Very easy. So I'm gonna put new thermostat. I'm gonna, you know, slightly clean the sitting area, and I also purchased a dedicated Porsche kind of oil for the O-rings. It's got special part number for the cooling system. $25 for a little bottle, but you know, it's Porsche, what you can do. All right, new socket, $25 container with the like a silicone-like substance. It's kind of tacky, if you wish, but that's what Porsche wants for installation, the O-rings in the coolant system. So it's specifically for the coolant system. All right, I put probably already more than enough, but just to make sure it slides in a place easily. One, I already put the thermostat in. Let's see. Yep, with the bare hands, without any tools, it's flush. I just installed the coolant pump, so 5 bolts, 90-inch pounds, crisscross pattern, like you tighten the lug nuts on the 5-bolt wheels or 5-bolt hubs. Now I'm gonna install the pulley, 3 bolts, and I'm gonna need to double check what is the torque on those. Guys, remember I told you about like the mysterious leak this car was totaled from? Looks like I found the culprit. So it's typical for Volkswagen, Audi vehicles, and obviously Porsches too. They are all the similar constructions in case like of Cayenne and Touareg and what's not, Q7. They got this drain, it's typically clogged, and this is all this pile came out from it's still coming, so I obviously didn't clean 100% yet. It's possibly it's like the mouse was living here, because I mean it's typically, I know, not the case when this kind of white stuff is coming, so it probably was the mouse nest. But regardless, it's typically the leaves that makes this, you know, area clogged, and I think that the water raised because it couldn't escape, and it's found its way through the kind of the same holes, like where the, you know, wiring is coming inside the cabin, and that's what made it totaled. And I mean, I cleaned it to my, you know, best abilities. I mean, literally this is quite a bunch of stuff right here. It's all through this little hole, and that's why the engine lock, I mean the not engine lock but ignition lock, was corroded, because it's all located in this area. So it's you know, more or less clean now. I used some compressed air also to at least try to clean it. I'm not sure how to pop this stuff out, because I see like a bunch of pine needles here, but it's definitely much better than before. So yeah, that's the quick note. Don't forget to clean your drains, one on this side and one on the passenger side. The passenger side on mine was clean. Yeah, the driver's side was all clogged.